blades! Move! This'll hurt. Now, for the really painful part. My fire, her heart. Combine them, you get Ragnarok. It's time.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here with Print to Paint. Today's video is about amazing action figure Kratos from God of War. Previous video I showed all the painting experience of the base, which we applied realistic effect of lava and volcano. So if you didn't see the previous video, definitely watch it first, then come back to this one. This is the base of the action figure, which is totally ready. And today we will paint the main character of the action figure. So for painting this character, as you see, it's a lot of pieces. We have to decide first which parts to mount before painting, which parts should be painted separately, then at the end to be mounted. I think, as I see visually, here for example the legs, they don't need to be mounted yet, because here we have the waist and we have the belt. Just it will be better first to stick the head with the body. I will fill the gap, smooth, post-process, then we will start painting. So let's do it. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, for this kind of situation I add resin between the pieces and I use nail lamp to cure the resin, which will be better. I mean, we will have better result. The gap will be totally filled and it will be totally easy for us to smoothen the area and to apply the paint. So here is the standard resin. Just notice that whatever type of resin which you use for the action figure, try to use the same for connecting pieces. Just some drops of resin at the beginning like this, all around. We put the head like this, and here is the nail lamp. Now, look, immediately the resin will be cured, and now we have to fill the gaps all around. All around like this. Step by step cure the resin to don't overload any resin on action figure, and also to don't let resin drop inside as liquid, because with any type of hole in the action figure the resin can leak out and it will ruin the paint. Okay, now we are done with filling the gap. All resin has been injected in the gap and it's cured. Now it's time to smoothen the area and to do the post process. Okay, now we are done with post-processing. It's time to start the painting process. Just I want to mention before everything, for today's video, to paint this type of body, I want to try with painting method of dry brush. I'm not sure if it will come out perfect or it won't be that much good, but let's try and let's see how it will be the result. So before everything, I want to start with applying the primer. I use this water-based primer from the brand Vallejo. So first I will apply the primer, then I want to apply the dark color with airbrush to the deep parts of the body, and the top surface I will start with dry brush. So let's do the primer. Also notice one thing, don't overload with primer to avoid losing small details on the action figure. We do the same for all the pieces to be totally covered with primer, and it will be almost ready to apply the main paint. Also, during applying the primer, if you see any imperfection, immediately solve it before the main paint. Okay, now the primer is totally dried and it's time to apply the base skin color. As you see, I have added plain dough in the mouth to don't paint the tooth and lips. And for skin base color, I will use basic skin tone from Vallejo. I have already added the paint inside the airbrush, and so let's apply. Okay, now it's time to add shadows in the deep parts of the muscles. So for this purpose, the same basic color which you used for the skin tone, bring it and make it darker some degrees, like maybe not too much contrast, but some degrees darker. For this purpose, I use smoke ink. I mixed it with base color to make a darker skin, darker tone, let's say, and I will apply only in the deep parts of the muscles to have the shade. Follow the exact lines of the muscles to don't feel the cup surface. Okay, as you see, I have filled all the gaps between muscles, the deep parts of the muscles, with darker paint. Now it's time to do the dry brush. We dry brush with the light skin color on the surface to keep the deep part dark and to make the higher surface more shining, so the contrast will be higher and the result, I think, it will be better. Like this, all the parts we have to dry brush. Take care always to clean your brush, to don't overload with paint for the best result. And always dry brush against the original direction of the gaps. I mean, if the gap is vertical, you should dry brush horizontal to don't fill the deep parts. So I'm done with dry brushing. As you see, all the deep parts of the muscles, they have darker shade. The higher surface is more light. Now I want to apply the flesh wash for the first time, because I have never used, and apparently it will give the realistic effect of skin color, let's say, on the action figure. To use this one, if you don't have this special effect, let me show you on a white surface exactly how is the color. Do you see? The color can be a mix of this one, burgundy, with red and light brown. So if you don't have this specific wash, you can make it by your own easily. Let it like this, and also after applying the wash, any type of wash, if you see there are extra drops like this, dry them with gentle. Just take a sponge easily. We just need to absorb the extra paint. So like this, remove the extra, and then let it dry totally. Take care, don't do it too much tough, this part, to don't remove the main paint. Just we need to dry the extra parts, that's it. Okay, now let's paint the bird, mustache and bird which he has. Try to use first, because it will be gray, so first use some black ink, then some parts we apply white, like this. We don't need too much dark black. First we need the wash. So when we finish with wash, I will apply some pure black, then some parts of white on top of all. Okay, now for this part, to have more realistic color, I want to paint the deep parts in black, the top surface is in white, then at the end we will apply a red color on total. So the deep parts will have the shade of black, which will show deeper even without light. If we surrounded the action figure 360 degrees with the light, still we will have the realistic shadows. For this purpose, we add some black ink with water. You can mix it with water or airbrush thinner, and with pencil we apply to the deep surfaces. So for this part of blade, which as you see the design is like the blood is dropping from the blade, first I will apply dried blood, which is this one, and then on the top surface I will add fresh blood. Also on the main body, the character, I will do the same. Like this. You don't need to be too much precise for this part.